I am Joseph Ngoma, an author. I have written many books, and so far, I have published 9 of them. All my books focus on spiritual warfare teachings because spiritual warfare is a topic that many churches often ignore. Yet, countless people suffer in silence due to a lack of knowledge and understanding in this area. Today, I want to speak about the difference between love and feelings. One of the greatest mistakes people make in life, in relationships, and especially in marriage is confusing love with feelings. Many think that because they feel something, it must be love. But the truth is this: feelings are not love. Feelings are temporary, love is eternal. Feelings are like the weather, they can be bright one moment and stormy the next. They are real, but they are not permanent. They can be influenced by fatigue, disappointment, misunderstanding, or even a change in circumstances. That is why relationships based only on feelings often collapse when the initial excitement fades. If you marry only because you feel in love, you may want to leave when you don't feel in love anymore. But true love is a choice and a commitment. It is not ruled by emotions, it rules over emotions. It chooses to stay even when feelings are weak. It chooses to forgive even when the heart feels hurt. It chooses to serve even when it feels inconvenient. Biblical foundation. The Bible says, love never fails. 1 Corinthians 13:8. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. 1 Peter 4:8. Love rooted in God is not shaken by mood swings or disagreements. It reflects God's own love for us, constant, patient, and forgiving. Even when we fail Him, His love remains. Romans 8:38-39. Practical keys to keep love alive. Choose love daily. Wake up every morning and decide, I will love today even when I don't feel like it. Serve the other person. Acts of kindness keep love alive. Do something for them even when your emotions are tired. Speak life. Words can either kill feelings or build them. Choose words that encourage, uplift, and affirm. Pray for each other. Prayer softens hearts, heals wounds, and reminds you that your relationship is bigger than temporary emotions. Focus on the good. Stop replaying the other person's mistakes in your mind. Remember why you loved them in the first place. Truth to hold onto. Feelings react to the moment. Love chooses for the future. Feelings say, I don't feel like forgiving. Love says, I will forgive, because love covers a multitude of sins. Feelings say, I am tired of giving. Love says, I will keep giving, because God gave Himself for me. When you live by feelings, your relationships will always be unstable. But when you live by love, God's kind of love, your relationships can survive any storm. So don't ask yourself, do I feel in love today? Instead, declare, I choose to love today, tomorrow, and forever. Feelings are conditional. Love is unconditional. Feelings are often conditional. They rise when someone treats us well, but they fade when we are disappointed, offended, or hurt. If we only love when people meet our expectations, our relationships will always be fragile. But real love is unconditional. It accepts, forgives, and keeps choosing to stay even when the other person fails. It is not based on perfection, but on grace. God's love is the perfect example. But God demonstrates His own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Romans 5:8. How God models unconditional love. He loved us before we ever prayed. He loved us when we rejected Him. He loved us knowing we would fail again. That is why true love says, I choose you even when you disappoint me. I choose you even when my emotions are weak. I choose you even when the day is hard. Practical ways to live unconditional love. Stop keeping score. Love does not keep a record of wrongs. 1 Corinthians 13:5. Forgive quickly. Don't wait for an apology before you show kindness. Speak grace, not revenge. Replace you always with, I know you didn't mean to hurt me, but let's work through this. Remember your own faults when you feel ready to withdraw love. Remember how much grace God has given you. Choose commitment over comfort. Real love isn't about staying only when it's easy. Truth to hold onto. Feelings say, you hurt me, so I'm done. Love says, you hurt me, but I will still choose to love you. Feelings are earned. Love is given freely. Feelings react to the moment. Love decides for a lifetime. If God's love for us was conditional, none of us would survive his judgment. But he chose to love us anyway. If we want relationships that last, we must love the same way unconditionally. Feelings seek pleasure, love seeks commitment. Feelings often focus on what I can get from the other person. They ask, does this make me happy? Do I enjoy this? Does this benefit me? When the pleasure stops, the feeling often fades. But real love focuses on what I can give. It asks, how can I serve you? How can I help you grow? How can I bless you, even when it costs me? Love doesn't run when the journey gets hard, it stays. It serves when no one notices. It sacrifices when it would be easier to quit. It invests in the other person's well-being, even when there is no immediate reward. The example of Jesus. Jesus gave the highest example of commitment. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. John 15:13. This is not about feelings. It's about sacrifice, the willingness to give up comfort, time, money, and even your life for the sake of someone else. Jesus did not go to the cross because it felt good. He went because his love for us was greater than his personal comfort. Practical ways to live love that seeks commitment. Serve intentionally, do something for the other person that benefits them, not you. Sacrifice willingly, give your time, attention, or resources even when it's inconvenient. Stay in the hard seasons, don't walk away when love requires patience. Invest daily, relationships grow when you keep pouring into them, not only when you feel like it. Make covenant, not contract. A contract says I will, if you will. A covenant says I will, no matter what. Truth to hold onto. Feelings say, I will stay while it benefits me. Love says, I will stay even when it costs me. Feelings seek pleasure. Love seeks a person. Feelings are selfish. Love is selfless. If your love is built only on pleasure, it will not survive pain. But if your love is built on commitment, it will endure both pleasure and pain. Love that seeks commitment will last because it mirrors the love of Christ, who never leaves nor forsakes us, Hebrews 13:5. Feelings are self-centered, love is God-centered. Feelings can be selfish. They whisper, I'm in this relationship because it makes me feel good. I love you as long as you make me happy. When the benefit ends, the feeling often disappears. But true love is God-centered. It says, I love because he first loved me, 1 John 4:19. It is rooted in God's character, not in human moods. It sees the other person through God's eyes with grace, patience, and compassion, not through the unstable lens of emotions. The danger of self-centered love. Self-centered love demands more than it gives. Sees relationships as transactions, I give if I get. Falls apart when sacrifices are required. God-centered love gives without expecting a return. Sees the other person as a child of God, worthy of respect and care. Remains constant, because it flows from God's endless supply of love. Biblical foundation. Jesus gave us the greatest commandment. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Matthew 22:37-39. If our love is rooted in God, it will survive offenses, disappointments, and misunderstandings because it does not depend on what the other person does, but on who God is. Practical ways to make your love God-centered. Pray for the other person, it shifts your focus from your needs to their growth. Ask God for his perspective before reacting emotionally. Ask, Lord, how do you see them right now? Serve without being noticed. Do good even when there's no applause. Anchor your love in scripture. Let the word shape your responses, not feelings. Remember God's love for you. When you recall how much grace He has given you, it becomes easier to extend grace to others. Truth to hold onto. Feelings say, "What's in it for me?" Love says, "How can I reflect God's heart toward you?" Feelings fade when the benefit stops. Love endures because God's love never fails. Selfish love takes. God-centered love gives. When love starts with God, it never runs dry. But when it starts with self, it will run out the moment it's tested. If you want a love that lasts, build it on God, not on yourself. Why many marriages fail? Many marriages fail because people enter them based on feelings, not real love. They marry because they feel attracted. They marry because they feel happy when they are together. But feelings are fragile. When challenges come, financial struggles, sickness, misunderstandings, stress, or family pressure, those feelings often fade. Then they say, "I don't feel in love anymore." In reality, what they thought was love was only emotion. True love is more than attraction, excitement, or romance. It is commitment, sacrifice, forgiveness, and choosing each other daily even when emotions are weak. In Belgium, there is a French TV show called Cava Savoir, or something similar, where they often feature couples who are facing different relationship problems. If you follow this show, you will notice a pattern. Many of these couples break up and then quickly marry or date someone else, and society treats it as completely normal. But if you look deeper, you will see the truth. Many of these relationships are not built on love, they are built on feelings. They confuse attraction, excitement, and emotional connection with real love. Real love is something deeper, rarer, and more powerful than what most people in these stories experience. Feelings can lead people to jump from one relationship to another when emotions fade. Love commits, sacrifices, forgives, and endures. It does not run away at the first sign of trouble. The tragedy is that our culture is teaching people that relationships are disposable, that it's normal to switch partners whenever feelings change. But in reality, this mindset destroys the true meaning of love. Biblical truth. Jesus warned us about building on the wrong foundation. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. Matthew 7:25. If marriage is built on feelings, sand, it will crumble under the storms of life. If it is built on God's love, the rock, it can withstand any trial. Common reasons marriages fail. Marrying for attraction instead of character. Looks fade, but character lasts. Expecting constant happiness. No relationship is happy every day. Joy comes from commitment, not constant pleasure. Lack of spiritual foundation. Without God at the center, couples lean only on human strength, which will fail. Unwillingness to work through pain. Love requires forgiveness, patience, and effort. Confusing feelings with love. Feelings are a spark, love is the fire that keeps the marriage warm for a lifetime. Practical advice for lasting marriage. Choose commitment over comfort. Decide to stay even when it's hard. Pray together regularly. A praying couple will stand stronger against trials. Invest in your relationship daily. Love grows when it's fed with time, kindness, and service. Learn to forgive quickly. Bitterness kills love faster than any argument. Focus on God's design for marriage. Marriage is not just for your happiness, but for God's glory. A marriage built on feelings will not survive the storms of life. A marriage built on God's love, commitment, and sacrifice will endure through every season. The question is not, do I feel in love, but will I choose to love no matter what? Love endures, feelings do not. Feelings are like the wind, they can change direction in an instant. When relationships face storms, feelings often say, "It's too hard. Give up. Walk away." But love is different. Love holds on when it would be easier to let go. Love fights for the relationship when the other person is too tired to fight. Love forgives when bitterness feels more satisfying. Love rebuilds when it would be easier to abandon the ruins. The nature of true love. True love is not built on emotional highs, it is rooted in God's character. The Bible tells us, God is love. 1 John 4:8. That means love is eternal, because God is eternal. If your love flows from Him, it has His strength to endure any season. If your relationship is built only on feelings, it will collapse the moment the feelings fade. Biblical perspective. Paul describes real love this way. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. 1 Corinthians 13:7. Notice endurance is part of love's DNA. Love does not run when there's conflict. Love does not quit when things are inconvenient. Love lasts because it is fueled by God, not by changing emotions. Practical ways to cultivate enduring love. Pray together during hard times. Prayer invites God's strength into the relationship. Choose to stay when it's easier to leave. Remind yourself why you made your commitment. Forgive before you feel like it. Forgiveness is a decision, not a mood. Work on the problem, not against each other. You're on the same team, fighting the issue, not each other. Draw from God's love daily. Spend time in His presence so your heart stays soft. Truth to hold onto. Feelings say, I'm done. Love says, I'm still here. Feelings fade when the road gets rough. Love grows stronger through trials. Feelings are seasonal. Love is eternal. Love that comes from God will stand through storms, sickness, temptation, and trials. But love built only on feelings will not even survive a strong wind. If you want love that lasts, let it be anchored in God, strengthened by prayer, and tested by commitment. The call. We must stop building marriages, friendships, and even ministries on feelings alone. Feelings are unstable. They can lift you high today and drop you low tomorrow. If we build only on emotion, we are building on sand, and the storms of life will sweep everything away. We must return to God's definition of love, the kind of love that never fails. The Bible paints this picture so clearly. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. God's kind of love is patient. It waits without complaining. Kind. It gives more than it takes. Forgiving. It releases the past instead of keeping a scorecard. Faithful. It never quits, even when it's hard. The daily choice. Love is not a one-time promise at the altar or in a friendship. It is a daily decision. Every morning you choose to forgive instead of resent, to serve instead of demand, to stay instead of run, to build instead of destroy. The challenge. In your marriage, choose love even when you don't feel in love. In your friendships, stand by people when they're going through hard times. In your ministry, serve God and people even when you feel unappreciated. Final word. Feelings will rise and fall like waves. But love is the anchor that keeps the relationship from drifting away. God's love is a covenant, not a mood. If we build on His love, patient, kind, forgiving, enduring, we will have marriages, friendships, and ministries that last for a lifetime, and into eternity.